Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling, and I'm taking a look at Bryce Cannon against Matt Odam. Matt, you got to think about that in the last name, buddy. Maybe that's your real last name. That's okay. But I'm going to critique their match. What is this? Coastal Empire Wrestling Championship. It's their first championship match for the title. I think it's a ladder match because I see some really sketchy looking ladders on the outside. And I know Bryce Cannon catches a gusher. Beyond that, what I know about this match is people think very highly of it. But as we know, when I take a look at things, that could mean shit. So I'm going to take a look at this. I'm wondering how much time they are going to spend with me just having to listen to the murmuring of the crowd and the referee walking around. Let's see how much they have abused me. I'm going to hit play and then I'm going to mute out so you don't have to hear sound twice over the microphone, just so you know. Yeah, thanks, assholes. I get to listen to the referees talking about what they're going to do in this ladder match.
It's going to be very interesting. JJ said it best.
JJ, what are your thoughts on Bryce going into this match?
I'm actually feeling this. This is kind of fun behind the scenes stuff. Oh, here we go. Who's the ring announcer? Because, you know, I generally have a disdain of most ring announcers because I think they overestimate how difficult that job is, right? All shout outs, of course, to Diana Michelle, your 2020 ring announcer of the year. God bless her and her hotness. But this ring announcer is not bad. He's got a kind of a bar show feel. I will say that he's very enthusiastic, which to me is sort of a prerequisite for that gig. And he got the crowd fired up and into it. I noticed the crowd isn't very close to the ring, but it seems like they have a pretty full crowd.
All right, your first competitor in tonight's main event, the ladder match, straight from his daddy's yacht, weighing
Straight from his daddy's yacht, maybe my favorite thing I've heard lately. And this is obviously for Bryce Cannon, the spoiled prick frat boy.
269 white claws.
His weight is 269 white claws. I don't even have to say anything about that. It's amazing. What is this fucking cameraman doing? What is this fucking Okay. The music hits. They're raising the warehouse door. Is Bryce Cannon going to come to the ring and something? I'm feeling this. Oh. What the hell? Oh my God, is that a White Claw flag? And the three of them are being driven to the ring on a forklift? Fuck me. Awesome. One person is determined to yell and speak on how much he hates White Claws. I guess that's heat in the modern era. Wow. Oh my God. So that's a fan with a huge banner where they have the White Claw logo with sucks stamped over them, and it's huge. All right. Again, the Exotic Youth have done such a great job branding themselves, Bryce Cannon in particular. They each have their own flavor and element. Um, it's interesting, even the logistics of how close I would have put the crowd closer to the ring somehow, some way, only so they would have got a proper loud reaction that would have been captured when they came out. I have no doubt that the crowd responded. Obviously, they cared enough to make these banners and these signs, but when you guys are recording matches, it's important to note that the most important element of what happens in a wrestling match is the reactions. And I'm going to make a terrible analogy here. So I'm into like real stories of horror and gore, real stories. And there's one guy, the Plagued Moth, who covers this stuff really well. And when he assesses these videos, which obviously he can't show you somebody legitimately getting beheaded on YouTube, but what he does is he describes it, and then he says how horrible it is. And invariably, the thing that he goes to is sound. He goes, this one was the worst one in my opinion because, and it always has to do with sound. The sound that the people make, the begging and the whimpering, the gurgling sound, what it sounds like for a head to be cut off. And I mean, when he goes into that sound detail, you realize that, like, and if you're Plagued Moth and you watch this stuff for a living, right? But he's so reasoned with how he talks about it and presents it. It's why I'm fascinated by it. And the sound element and the reactions from the crowd, if we are not getting those, you are doing yourself a disservice. So for Coastal Empire Wrestling or people who are recording the shows, if we are not picking up the crowd noise and you're not getting proper responses in the first place, that is a failure. So again, I want to hear the crowd responding to this match. It is going to affect my enjoyment one way or the other. Let's see which one.
And his opponents from Conway, Arkansas, weighing in at 200.
Conway, Arkansas. We get it. I already know what this guy's gimmick is, just because they announced him from Conway, Arkansas.
And 45 pounds, Matt
Getting to hear that reaction, you see what I'm saying? Even though it's very much in the background, unfortunately. But I got to hear people yelling for Matt Odam. And so that tells me a story, tells me he's the babyface, and that's great. And they build him at 245, and you know what? I'm looking at him. I would say that's probably accurate. That's rare in wrestling that you get something that's accurate. So he's a big boy. He's got a lot of size on Bryce Cannon. I'm curious if that's going to work its way into the match. It's always tough when you have a bigger baby face and a smaller heel. They're going to have to work overtime. But then again, Bryce Cannon has his boys at ringside, and I'm sure they're going to factor in. Let's see if they begin to tell that story. Really quick thing here. When you're looking at this stage picture, right, it's important to always look. How does that apron look on the ring? It looks like shit because it's not tight enough. These are the kind of things that you gotta make sure are taken care of. It doesn't take very much time, and definitely affects the look of your show. Even to have something like a drooping apron on the side of the ring makes you look Bush League. So Coastal, I know you're new, but these are the kind of things that you just have to take care of. And yes, when you first set up a ring, when you put on the apron, if it feels tight enough, make it tighter still. And now you can see why, because as the ring moves and shakes, it's going to basically loosen things and jar them, and eventually your apron is going to droop, and it's not going to look as tight, and it's not going to look as good. Cool? I know minor stuff, Steve. Who cares? I care, so fuck you. Come on, Savannah. I love that spot where Matt Odam, the baby face, the bigger baby face, is not going to be afraid of the exotic youth. And so he grabs, I believe that's Pepper Bottom, or maybe that's Zach Mosley, and just yanks them out of the corner so he can stand in each corner and exalt the crowd. I've never seen that spot quite like that. Some people would say that's disrespecting the heels because there's three of them, he should be scared, but I think it's telling us something about Matt Odam, which is, I'm not going to be afraid of these guys. And I think that there is an element of hubris there, and I think that hubris is going to be part of what costs Matt this match, because I already know Bryce Cannon wins because he's their first champion, obviously. So I like that kind of level of storytelling going on. Any of you guys who are out there thinking like, oh, these young guys don't know how to tell a story, dude, they know how to tell a story, and we're seeing that already. And the referee doing a great job here, and then at that point the referee steps in, which explains why the exotic youth aren't attacking him from behind as he celebrates. I think that's really smart, great use of the referee, and a nice little spot there. I'm curious who came up with it. Now they're really chanting for Odam. You hear it. It's a great spot. It got what they wanted. I just realized that there's commentators talking, but I can't fucking hear them. Jesus, Coastal, gotta get that shit together, dude. Yeah, honestly, they're better off not having commentators than having them heard like this. I thought maybe it was live for the crowd, but no, it's something that they're dubbing. It's just they didn't test their sound mix. And so now I can barely hear them, and they're just going to be annoying throughout this thing, I would suspect. And I like this, too. The referee's calling for the bell right away, even though the exotic youth are all in the ring. Now, that shouldn't be, in one sense, but because this is a ladder match and a special thing, I like that the referee's instinct is, let's just get this thing going instead of stretching it out. I think that's the right move. Oh no, he's throwing out the exotic youth. That's great. Oh, and then the patented exotic youth temper tantrum. Holy crap. And Bryce Cannon gets in the referee's face, and the referee pushes him off, and he takes a bump. Really unconventional stuff, but I like the effect that they're going for, which is Bryce Cannon's going to have to fight this thing alone. Listen to that loud chant by the crowd. That's gotten them in this match before they've even touched each other. What a fantastic spot. I've never seen it done quite in this way before. Dude, I am impressed. This is ridiculous.
From ringside to give a fair fight to him. I know that puts a smile on your face.
Shut up, Danny! It's ridiculous! You're not just like everybody else! I'm doing my damn job!
Your job just got sent to the back. sucker.
Hey, you don't put your hands on me. Where do we go?
Who rang that bell? Who rang that bell? Steve, who cares? I care. I have not heard a good bell ringing in quite some time, and it's a pet peeve kind of thing. Listen to this bell ring again. Oh my gosh, listen to this bell ring.
Hey, you don't put your hands on me. Where do we go?
Dude, that is the kind of bell ring that they would use as a Foley artist would do in a movie. It is so crisp, so clean. And again, Steve, who cares? I care, fuck you. Like that bell ring, I heard a 10 bell salute that was done in the blink of an eye, and it completely ruined the moment until the ring announcer saved it and said, that's what New Jack would have liked, which got a big laugh out of everybody. But hearing these clunky bell rings, I used to actually run trainings on how to ring the ring bell at PCW shows, which people go like, dude, that's psycho. That's not psycho. That's a bell ringing is one of those Pavlovian things, literally and figuratively, to people who are watching a wrestling show or a combat sport. And if you get the bell, have you ever heard a bad bell ring at a UFC event? Fuck no, because Dana White's would have your nuts on a hibachi, right? But the fact that pro wrestling doesn't care makes when somebody does it right stand out to me. Kudos to Coastal Empire Wrestling. Now just imagine how it would be if we had that great sound of that bell ringing combined with a ring apron that didn't look like shit. I know, I'll quit harping.
Championship match for the Coastal Empire Heavyweight Championship between Bryce Cannon and Matt Odam. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now I can hear the commentators, and it's pretty good hype work.
Bryce's face looks concerned. Look concerned. I don't know if that concerned.
Stop talking, commentators.
Oh, face, and he leaves the ring and goes for the ladder. My Bryce gets the ladder early. Odam doing the same thing, puts the ladders in the ring. Oh, we got a standoff. Oh, Bryce got the ladders.
I love that they open this match with basically each one of them getting a ladder and they're already clashing with them. They're sword fighting with these ladders. They're telling us what the gimmick of this match is. It's a ladder match, and for people that don't know what that means we're going to use these ladders to kill each other and eventually climb stuff. Something I don't like with this is they should have put over the notion of, in this ladder match, I assume they're going to have to climb something and get something off of the ceiling that's hanging. They didn't put up the convention of one of them should have looked up to remind the crowd, the whole point of this thing is we're trying to get that. These kind of overt performance gestures are so invaluable when you're putting over the gimmick of the match. Never assume that everybody knows what's going on. If I said to a friend of mine, my friend Ray, who's right here, if I said, okay, it's a ladder match, that wouldn't mean shit to him, right? He wouldn't automatically assume, oh, they're going to climb a ladder to get something. Oh, it just means they fight with ladder. Like, always spell out the rules of engagement in your match. If it's a cage match, do I think it's a cliche that somebody goes into the cage and at some point grabs it and shakes it before the match starts? Of course it's a cliche. Why does it exist though? Because you want to differentiate for the crowd of, I'm a little worried, this cage is dangerous. Let's bust up something about a cage match. It's a chain link fence. Who fucking cares? My kids climb them. I throw myself into them. It doesn't really hurt that much, right? But is that the point? No. In a cage match, you have to put over the fact that this thing is foreboding and dangerous. And with this ladder match, if the point is we've got to climb this ladder and we got to get that title off of close to the ceiling, I didn't see anybody, a referee or any of the participants or anybody gesture and point up to that freaking title. Rookie stuff, guys. Those are rookie numbers. You got to get your numbers up. Oh, nice spot. Nice bump by Cannon.
This is going to get crazy early. It looks like we're wasting no time, ladies and gentlemen.
Why aren't you trying to...
Oh, no. What's Bryce thinking? See Bryce grab.
Okay, so now Odam points to the thing that he wants to get, which is good. Should have done it earlier. But he put the ladder in the corner. Why wouldn't he, you know, the surest way to tell us that the point of this match is to grab the title off the thing? Try in the beginning. Where's this convention that says, if I've knocked the guy to the ground onto the floor, why wouldn't I try to win right away? Try to win. Something I like in cage matches when they have the escape from the cage is the way you can win, which I hate as a stipulation. But if you're going to do it, you know what should happen? Some point really early on in the match, somebody should try to get out of the door or climb the cage immediately. Because what does that tell us as an audience? One, they want to win. Two, that's a viable way to win. If this is a ladder match where you're supposed to climb up a ladder and grab something, somebody should be trying to do that right away. This notion of, I want to stay in this match and get beaten up, doesn't make any fucking sense. It's the same reason I hate it when people in promos say, when I wrestle you on blah, 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 we're going to have a knockdown, drag out, 5-star great match. Who the fuck says that in Ultimate Fighting? Do they go like, we're going to have a classic fight where we're going to go all 3 rounds and we're going to go the distance? No, they do knockout predictions, right? I'm going to kick this guy's ass. Like, you would try to win right away because you would want the least amount of harm to happen to your body as possible. Now, if this is a grudge match where Matt Odam is going to want to punish Bryce Cannon, that's one of the main objectives in the match, then he should make that clear. He should set up the ladder as if, okay, I could win, but you know what? He looks at the crowd and he goes like, no. I'm going to kick this guy's ass and say it. Then the crowd can get enthusiastic. Whatever the story is you're telling, you have to constantly remind us what that story is. It is work all the time. It is if you're great. Great spot. He reaches out to grab Cannon to drag him back into the ring, which would have been even better if he made it clear that I want to punish this guy some more. And then Bryce Cannon hits him with the fraternity paddle to his head. Great start to the match. And is Odam getting color here? Is he already blading? That's awesome if he is.
Cobra number 2 by Bryce Cannon and a super kick to the face. Bryce Cannon.
I didn't like the super kick spot, and I'll tell you why. The paddle is such a big deal. Odam is selling it like he got shot, which is appropriate because he got hit by a weapon. The super kick, I hate the follow-up kick to a big move. For instance, when guys like powerbomb somebody and then they run over and they stomp on them. Like, let the last thing, if something is an exclamation point, don't put a period right after it. Does that make sense? That's something that you would only hear from me. But I just gave you some fucking free fucking knowledge, so you're welcome. Don't put a period after an exclamation point. That's one of those things that once you hear it, anybody who I've trained, and now I'm telling the public at large, that should stick into your brain. And it will affect how you do matches and how you spend time doing things in a wrestling ring. And it'll make your matches infinitely better. God damn, that's brilliant. Don't put a period after it. Jesus. God, I'm fucking smart, folks. Oh, Bryce Cannon now giving him the beatdown with the ladder. See? How much do you wish that he took that kick out of there now? Because we went from if we had gone from paddle to I'm taking this ladder and I'm driving it into your chest without that stupid super kick in between, yeah, it would have been much better. Sorry, Bryce. You know I love you, but yeah, don't ever do that stupid fucking kick again.
Bryce Cannon is getting violent. I know how violent Bryce can be. He's showing.
The commentator is completely unnecessary, but he's not bad.
Oh, stop on the ladder on Odam's knee, on his leg, push him back down.
Cannon is focused on what he's doing, but they're chanting Cannon sucks. I think you've got to acknowledge that at some point to reward the crowd for being vocally involved in the match. I hope he acknowledges them. Brings in a chair too.
Between the ladder, Bryce Cannon, that vicious son of a bitch. Oh no, a chair shot to the back by Bryce Cannon. I hope he's got insurance. They both need insurance after this one. Bryce Cannon now putting the ladder. Yeah.
okay, I take back what I said about the commentators. They're pretty terrible because they're doing a rudimentary thing that I hate in commentary, which is telling us what we're seeing. I find it to be very patronizing. I find it to be really stupid. I find it to be completely unnecessary. Plus, they're doing a thing of they're also playing the part of the Greek chorus, and they're also accentuating big moves with going, oh! And if I have to listen to them say, oh, 20 times during this match, it's going to have diminishing returns. Less is more. Quit telling us every spot they're doing. Oh, he's putting his foot in the chair. Yeah, we know, dickhead, we're looking. Right? Oh, he's getting it. Now, if you say like, oh, okay, I'll give you an example. When Bryce Cannon goes out to get the chair to Pillmanize his leg in the ladder, and the fact that they did not say Pillmanize, which is an industry term that immediately wrestling fans and wrestling people would recognize, the fact that they didn't say it sounds very amateurish to me. Instead of saying he's going and getting a chair, what about building up some sense of tension, putting some air in that balloon so it can pop for us, right? Like, oh, Bryce Cannon, where is he going? Of course, you know where he's going, but why are you telling us what he's doing? Just say, where is he going? Oh, that chair. Please don't do this, Bryce. Don't do this. And then pop with that chair. And then it's just like, oh, God, I heard the bone crack. So you see how much better that is than he's getting a chair. Oh, he hit that. Oh, he hit the. What is, oh, why are you yelling for us, dickhead? Don't do that. Sell what is happening. Everything is sales. I think I heard a bone crack. I think I heard his ligament pop. I think I heard these things that put this thing in his head of like, this is real. The damage is real. Maybe he convinces us we heard it too. All of these things to set up the story of the match, which is he's destroying this guy's leg so he cannot use it in the course of this match. Commentators, you are there to accentuate what's going on, not to remind us what is going on. If we're so dumb that we don't know that he's hitting him with a chair, then you telling us doesn't make it so. Stop telling us what we're seeing. That is not commentary. That is stupidity. That is your friend sitting next to you watching a fucking football game going like, oh, they're handing it off to so-and-so. Oh, that guy's running. Oh my God, that guy ran for like 5 yards. What would you want to do to that friend? You would want to castrate him. So why is it different when commentators do that in pro wrestling? Fucking stop it.
And you know what? I don't care what you say. That's a smart idea about Bryce Cannon. Take away the leg of
What's the most important thing in a match? The crowd reaction. And now they're chanting and they're furious that he did that to the leg. And what is the commentator doing? Trying to literally talk over the crowd noise, which is the number one thing we want to hear. Fuck you, commentators.
Take away that power game. Take away him climbing up the ladder. Bryce goes to the corner. Hits. Oh, double knees in the corner by Bryce Cannon. Sets up beautifully.
Bryce Cannon's aggression here, and even just little things like he hits him with the Meteora in the corner, and then immediately he takes the guy's face and just pushes it. There's no reason to do that except it just looks like a dickhead thing to do. I love it. I love it. Bryce Cannon looks very intense. He's putting heat on Matt Odam, and the commentators won't stop talking. I wish there was a way I could cut them off, but I love what's going on here. Matt Odam taking heat, and it looks good.
Take away that power from Odam.
You want to take away the power, man. You want to keep him from climbing that ladder.
The crowd are going, oh, with their impact of their hits. This is the ideal. This is the ideal.
Oh, Bryce thinking, oh my God, don't do it. Throwing his body on the line, Bryce.
When the commentators were forced to get out of their thing of telling us what's happening, and he actually were like, no, don't do it. Do you hear that, how he instinctively did something good on commentary? Because he was taken out of his head. And if the commentators would just go off of instinct and react instead of trying to like tell us what we're seeing, it would be much better. Let's hope this is the start of a trend.
Cannon was putting all he had into that cannonball into the corner on the
Put all he had, I love it. Just let us listen to the chant. Why are you telling us what the crowd is saying? Just let us listen. Less, less, less. Commentators, hear me fucking now. Hear me and understand. Less, less,
Mofos are getting after Bryce, but Bryce is.
Oh, he's setting up the ladder on his balls. This is going to be awesome.
He wants that title. And the nougats, the tenders, whatever you want to call.
So he drives the ladder like a nail, using the chair as a hammer into the guy's dick. And immediately the commentators negate it by making jokes about it. Whoever these commentators are, do me a favor. Look for something sharp. Find your trachea. Shove the knife in. Fucking assholes. Quit negating. If you can't make it better, then be quiet.
Oh, man has nards. He has nards, but I guess, tell you what, he ain't having no kids no time soon after that.
And by the way, the only acceptable dick joke to make on this kind of spot is, oh, Matt Odam, he's holding a pound of Aunt Betty's nut butter. Thank you, Little Giants, for the greatest call that I have ripped off for 10 years. Love it.
Is doing everything he needs to do to keep Odam down. Take out the leg. Take the cheap shot.
It's a good pace. Now they're slowing it down. They did a big spot, then they set up another big spot. Matt Odam is getting his clock cleaned, and it looks great. And now Bryce Cannon has hurt him sufficiently, so he's trying to win the match. Odam is now inspired to stop him. Good spot. Dumps Bryce out of the ring, then deliberately does a stumble fall. Oh, I like it. Matt's really selling the damage. And he got caught again. What did he hit him with? The trash can. Awesome.
Oh my God. Get up.
God.
Oh my God. He's dead. He is dead.
He is broken in half.
Bryce has literally, we just witnessed a murder. Call it wrestling with a chair between the railing. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand, that's the hardest part of the ring. Absolutely. Bryce with a shot with the paddle on Odam's head.
This man is possessed.
He is possessed. He wants to win. Odam now fighting back.
Odam fighting back. Has the paddle. Paddles him on the ass. Nice, ridiculous babyface spot. And they're fighting out in the crowd, and the camera person doesn't seem to realize it. Go find them.
But it's getting a little crazy. But I guarantee, oh, please don't go to the Mac Attack truck.
It's getting a little crazy. Commentators. I'm sorry I keep harping, but you know how I get. You have to accentuate the action. Implying it's getting a little crazy implies that we haven't seen a bunch of crazy stuff we already have. Right? Just mark the time. It's a long match. You can't just keep talking the entire time. Look for places to give us some space. Right? The best tattoos are the ones that incorporate the skin in the negative space. Right? Look for places to not speak.
Please, God, don't. Do not damage the Mac Attack. Please, we love the Mac Attack truck. We don't want the damage.
They're coming back around here. They're in the middle of the mofo.
Now they're in the mofo section, going around. Did you hear the thud? Did you hear the thud from Bryce Cannon's head bouncing off that metal door? The mofo's behind Odam tonight, wanting him to be the first champion, and Odam is taking no chances. Now dragging him back to the ring as they're fighting outside. Ladies and gentlemen.
I like it's a small thing, but I like that Matt Odam's bringing him back to the ring with a headlock. One of the things that I hate is I call it the perp walk that wrestlers do when it's like we fight outside the ring and then we have to get back to the ring, and they do this cooperative walk where one of them drapes their arm around the other and they sort of walk back together. I never think that looks good. Matt Odam actually cinching in a headlock and dragging him with the headlock back to the ring. This is going to sound crazy. That's the best I've ever seen somebody look manhandling somebody back to the wrestling ring. I like it. Good job, Matt Odam. And cinching up the headlock, taking wrestling's simplest move that it's identified with and making it an actual practical thing in the match. Really good work, Matt.
This is your main event of the evening for the Coastal Empire Championship.
Tosses him into that ladder at the edge. That looks good.
Around like a rag doll. Now he's being tossed back into the ring.
Commentators, just chill for a second. Listen to that crowd chant. Odam and Bryce Cannon are doing a great job. This crowd is engaged. Oh, that was a cute little spot. Let me see what he did so I don't miscall it. So Odam's climbing over the bottom rope to get back in the ring, and Cannon does what? Oh, he just scoops the ladder up and throws it and slams it into his head as he's coming in the ring. I've never seen it quite like that before. That looked really good. And more importantly, we got that impact noise. And Matt Odam did put his hands up. He just took that right on his head. Shit. Much respect.
Back to the knee. Back to the knee. Caught a little of the forearm. Now Bryce Cannon pushes the ladder out the way. Watch out, Bryce. That ladder does fight back.
Bryce pushes the ladder down, signifying I'm not going to try to win right now. I'm going to try to punish Matt. Small gestures like that matter a lot. I like that. So it's like Bryce is like, you hurt me outside of the ring, now I'm going to hurt you. It makes the match feel much more personal. That even winning the match is now superseded by, you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. I like it.
Now, nice shot. I gotta say,
the referee, I like the job the referee's doing here. I haven't spoken a lot about him, which means he's doing the job the referee should do, which is staying out of the fucking way and not distracting from what's going on. Because it's a ladder match and there's no disqualification, just because Bryce Cannon's sort of choking him against the turnbuckle here, the referee does a gesture of, I wish I could stop this, but I can't. And he got that across with one facial expression in his hand gesture. You want to talk about an effective job. I want to find out, somebody let me know below, who's this referee, because he's doing a great job.
flag. Of course, use the flag. Be a smart thing to do. Oh, back shot on Bryce Cannon.
Quit telling us what we're seeing, commentators.
Oh, nice Bryce lock. Throws him down, runs to the ropes. Oh, to the face on Bryce Cannon.
Bryce Cannon going through some routines, punishing Matt here with stuff that he's familiar with doing.
Ever Coastal Empire Heavyweight Champion. Now he's climbing the ladder.
Commentator reminds us of what this is for, which is good.
Oh, he got the legs and brings him right back down.
Every time, some people would say Matt Odam is cutting him off too fast whenever he's trying to win. On the contrary, he cut him off before he even let him touch the ladder the first time. This time, Bryce literally gets to the first rung and Matt cuts him off. He's just doing a little bit at a time. Every time, Bryce Cannon's nefarious ways are getting him a little closer to winning. And I think this is very conscious. I like that they're not imitating ladder matches that they've seen before, but they're progressing the story in small visual ways. Great job, Matt Odam. How have I never heard of Matt fucking Odam? He's doing really good work here. Punches are kind of shitty. Take your time and hit. Guys, stop. Oh my God. Matt, right after I praise. This is why I praise nobody, because this is what fucking happens. It's the Asian parent in me. Never compliment your children, right? And so, like, boom, take your time, Matt. Make each one of these hits count. Bryce will give you the biggest sell in the universe off of this shit. Just take your time. Strikes are not bridges between spots. Strikes are spots. Everything you do in a wrestling ring should be done to the best of the ability and sold appropriately. Even like the sit-up kick to the stunner should look as good as the stunner. Make each thing count. And if that means you have to go a little slower, I will definitely take the quality over quantity argument and the quality over speed argument. Make each one of those hits, wind up and hit with them, and let Bryce sell them really big. as opposed to tip-tapping him to get him to the corner. Fuck a tip-tap. Tip-tap should never happen in a... I'll tell you this. If I do something physical in a wrestling ring and somebody tip-taps me to set up a spot, I'm going to punch you right in the fucking face. Don't tip-tap. Nice spot. Good sell by Bryce. I like the curling up his body. Careful the leg. Matt folds up the ladder. What's he going to do with it? Do you see the little stomp? Period after the exclamation point. Don't do that. Weak little stomp again. Just admit that I'm right and fix it. Is somebody chanting for Cannon? Who is that little abortion? Jesus. That kid is a bad person. I don't care if he's Bryce Cannon's brother. Like, someone shut that little kid up. Just kidding. That kid is brave to be the only one chanting for Bryce Cannon. Bryce Cannon's mama is staying quiet on this one. A slam down, and now are we going to have a slingshot? Let's see. Oh no, he's going to turn it. Oh no, what are you doing? That move was made entirely possible by Bryce Cannon's athleticism. Let's look at why that Bryce Cannon made it so the crowd didn't realize that that move wasn't executed properly. I'm going to show you what I mean. And this isn't a move that's done very often. It's very old school. So what Matt needed to do was he needed to grab the legs at a slightly lower point. That way, Bryce Cannon can keep his legs stiff. And that way, when he rocks back, Bryce Cannon is immediately rocketed to his feet and then can jump properly. Because everything was kept a little bit too loosey-goosey, you'll see how hard Bryce Cannon has to work to bound to his feet and then slingshot. Watch what I'm saying right here. He keeps it a little too loose. It's not bad, but if Bryce Cannon wasn't young and beautiful, this spot would not have come across well. And now he's hit, he's selling stiff, the ladder's on him. I hope he takes a back bump and lets the ladder crash on him, though I would not blame him if he did not do that, because that's pretty dangerous. But he topples over Matt, who's in the way. I'm glad someone didn't get hurt there. It looks good, though. And the crowd's into it, right? Okay. I apologize, Matt. Your last name is fine. The crowd gets to chant it. It's good. You don't have to change your last fucking name.
What is he doing? That's a bad mistake right there.
He's more worried about inflicting pain than winning the...
He's putting the ladder along the bottom rope, so is he going to use it as a step for something? Huh. Interesting.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Instead of going for the belt.
That stomp was better, but I still hate stomping a guy when he's on the ground unless you can make it look great.
Focusing on hurting.
Slams his head into it. Interesting.
The longer this match goes on, the longer these injuries will go and they will get hurt.
Oh, he's going to slingshot him into the ladder. Oh, that's clever. Potentially dangerous because you see the wiggle room that the ladder will have. Because the ladder is allowed to move too far, it could get messy. I don't think it will. Let's see if he does a better slingshot and keeps it a little tighter. I think he will. Okay, in that case, he could keep it kind of loose because Bryce didn't have very far to go. But normally you would put your knees behind the guy's thigh so you could give him the proper projection. But in that case, you don't have to, so I will allow it, as the kids say. So Bryce is selling. Is this where Bryce gets color? Let's see if we can catch him blading.
No, the ladder. Oh, what a shot.
No, he's just covering his head like this.
This crowd is violent.
Okay, ref, why are you fucking with the ladder? Why are you moving the ladder out of the corner? Maybe it's something that they need logistically. I don't like it. Why would the referee be touching anything? He hasn't up to this point. I don't like that the referee touched that.
One more time. See, that's what I wouldn't for taking his fans. Put the ladder up like those doing that.
The crowd chanting, "Get the belt." You want to talk about successful storytelling. And Matt Odam, to his credit, who did not look like he was going to set up the ladder to go for the belt, because the crowd chanted, "Get the belt." They're improvising, and then he's setting up the ladder. That is acknowledging the crowd, and now they're going to be with you the rest of the match. Great fucking job. I love that you didn't just go to your next spot that you had in mind that you talked about in the back, that the crowd chanted, "Get the belt," and for the babyface to ignore the crowd giving him what is really sound advice. Try to win the match, motherfucker. You just did a big thing. Go try to win the match. And for him to acknowledge that and go, it's precarious. I know Matt must be feeling like, oh shit, what spot are we going to do to give it back to Bryce? But it's better for him to listen to the crowd, and it makes sense in the storytelling of the match. They're taking, in sports terminology, he's taking what the defense is giving him. Okay, the crowd is chanting for him to try to win. Fuck it, I got to try to win, right? Get the belt. I've never heard that chant before. I can't wait to see this crowd in action. These drunk hillbilly motherfuckers, I gotta say, at first I was like, they didn't really give that big of a reaction, but part of that might have been the sound mix or whatever. But they are invested in this match. They are loving this shit, and it is great. Now he's climbing the ladder. Go fuck him up, Bryce.
That's right, the legs. Climb that ladder. He's reaching close to that belt. He's near. Oh, he got some fingers on it.
Get up the ladder, Odam.
Bryce is under.
Great spot. Swings his leg out, catches him on the way down with the RKO, but most importantly, look at the color. That was worth the wait. I'm like, Bryce is taking forever to get this color. It's worth it. That kid gigged. He's already got blood covering this quadrant of his face, and it's going down this quadrant of his face. That color looks phenomenal. Oh my Lord, kid, that looks great. And he's keeping his head up, making sure you can see the blood. Bryce Cannon deliberately wore a light-colored shirt so we can get blood all over that. He's got blonde hair. This is Memphis wrestling bullshit. This is Jerry Lawler-esque baby faces and heels with blonde hair so we can see the blood flying. You know what they call a great blade job from back in the day when you got really good color? This is a Memphis term. I'm going to teach all of you. They called it a shampoo job. When you got so much blood going through your hair, it looked like shampoo. Is that not the most disgusting detail you've ever heard? Now go teach your kids. Look at the blood. Oh.
But a beautiful RKO from Bryce Cannon on Matt Odam. I think he's there. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, there was going to be blood in this match. And
here's a quick thing for commentators. He just used the term crimson mask, which is wonderful. I believe it was a term coined by the late, great Gordon Soley, the crimson mask, to describe when somebody gets blood on their face, right? Here's my challenge to commentators and to wrestlers, but really commentators. Can you come up with something so good like the crimson mask that people 50 years from now will be fucking using it?
Bryce Cannon is the first to bleed.
The crimson mask. Twist that dick. I can't wait to see what that means. Does Matt Odam do a spot where he's going to grab Bryce Cannon and twist that dick? All I know is whoever this gentleman is chanting it really wants to see a dick twisted. And who am I to deny another man's fetish? That chant did not pick up, thank God. Beats him with the chair some more. I love this story of whenever Bryce Cannon gets in trouble, he goes to the chair and hits him. I like it. Look at the selling by Bryce. He must know he's got blood all over. That chair shot was vicious. They're taking their time and they're making everything mean more. It's justified because, of course, they would be tired and they would be beaten up so they could go slower. But they're accentuating all of these spots and they look better than any of the spots have looked previously. This is what you want. As they say in The Mandalorian, this is the way before all you fucking millennials ruined everything cool in this world.
All the way. Bryce Cannon is...
Come on, make sure those strikes look great. Oh, that looks good. That's the best punch Matt Odom's thrown. That one looks good too. Good. Oh! Bryce's intensity.
Running flatliner on the chair.
Doing that, again, commentators, you think you're helping by saying what they just did, you're not, but that spot looks great. Now Bryce is rolling him out of the way. Oh! Again, it's just the little dickhead things that Bryce Cannon does where it's like, I'm just going to throw this chair into you just because it feels like a dickhead thing to do. I really like that. There is no mistaking this match. Bryce Cannon is the heel. And Matt Odam is the baby face. Even in the course of this kind of vicious, violent, brutal war, there's something that feels very heelish and underhanded about Bryce Cannon constantly. He's constantly scheming, right? And this is something that comic books have taught us that you should take advantage of. Steve, what the fuck are you talking about? Especially if you have the dynamic of a baby face who's bigger and stronger. That's a problem, right? Because ultimately there's an automatic bully dynamic when there's somebody bigger in there with somebody smaller. How you circumvent this is doing it in the way comic books have done it. What are you talking about, Steve? Superman is strong, Lex Luthor is smart. The Hulk is strong, the leader is smart. We have been taught that anybody who is intelligent is inherently not to be trusted. So the way you get around the dynamic of having a bigger baby face is you make sure that the smaller heel feels crafty and vicious. And then we will accept them as an equal and somebody who deserves to lose. Because they're being crafty and vicious and nefarious. They're not wrestling straight up. They're definitely trying to circumvent rules, or they're just, an extra level of immorality is the reason that they're able to keep up with the larger face. And then you can keep a face heel dynamic in spite of the size difference. That shit's gold. I've never heard that shit said. People should be watching this shit. I know this video is long. Fuck you, it's worth it. There's a lot to talk about in this match, and we haven't even got to the finish yet.
Get him out the way, now Bryce going for that ladder. I would definitely leave that blue one. Leave the blue one, throw it.
Cannon sucks. They went from chanting for Odam, and then now that Cannon has the advantage, they're chanting that Cannon sucks. Folks, this is something. 4 letters, starts with an H, and it is the heart of pro wrestling, and it is heat. And they have it. They want Matt to win. They hate Bryce Cannon. That's the whole point of this shit. Boy, he's still bleeding. Now he gets to literally the second rung. So now Bryce went from not being able to go up the ladder to then going to the first rung last time. Now he literally gets to the second rung and he hits him with that chair shot that hits the ladder and also his flank. Ouch. Looks great. Bryce Cannon with the great sell. Look at this freeze frame picture. Mouth open, eyes open, everything else is red on his face. Oh, that is a magazine, Pro Wrestling Illustrated or the Wrestler magazine cover from like the late 70s. Guy with the bloody face just screaming, buy this magazine, you sick fuck. That's what wrestling was based on. And look at, come on. Jeff G. Bailey and all these guys who love old wrestling pictures will back me up on this. If you had Bryce Cannon's face right here where I froze it, if you had that on a magazine cover, it could just as well be Tommy Rich. It could just as well be Bobby Heenan. Any of these guys who had famous bloody face picture covers. Dude, anytime you can make me think of that, you're doing something right. Let's hope they don't fuck it up here at the end. Let's go, Odam. Let's go. It's a different chant than the other Odam chants. It feels much more urgent. The crowd is much more energized, right? They successfully have a combat sports feel in this. Great job. Let's go, Odom, let's go.
Become this different person.
Bryce cuts him off.
That makes you more pissed off, more angry.
Now crawling, literally crawling. Gets to the third step this time. Gets to the fourth rung this time. Gets to the fifth rung. Touches the top of the ladder. Oh. Uh-oh. Odam puts him on his shoulders. The crowd goes, ooh, because something big's about to happen. The electric chair drop. And more importantly, Odam got all of that blood on him. Is it his or is it Bryce Cannon's? I don't know, but you give me two guys covered in blood, and what you have is probably years of therapy that I'll need.
The electric chair drop on Bryce Cannon. Oh, there he goes. He's looking up. Odam sees it. Oh,
see the gesture of looking up at your goal is so important. Yeah.
The fact that he's been able to get all these power moves out is miraculous, but it's that adrenaline.
Shitty hit. God fucking damn it. Take your time. Do the hits well. Take your time. Do the strikes well. Don't ruin moments. Yes, you have to put Bryce Cannon in the corner. Then just shove him as hard as you can. Or rear back and hit him. And let him sell to get you there. But don't do a crappy hit. Ever. 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 Ever.
Running to him from his head.
He pushes the ladder over. It's time to punish Bryce. Splashes him. Now business is picking up. Slingshot bulldog, and they catch the edge of the ladder. That looked wonky, but it looked very dangerous, which is what it is.
Bryce likes that type of thing, you know.
And the referee messes with the ladder again, which I don't like.
Look at the blood.
Don't touch shit, ref. I like you, but Matt Odam's got color. It was his color from before, and he's bleeding a gush or two. And the fact that he just whacked himself in the head a bunch of times to check it and to make it bleed worse. This is some crazy fucking shit, and it looks great. Okay, I'll compliment the commentator. He actually did a good call there, which is, why is he smacking himself in the head? To literally make himself bleed more. But does that make sense that somebody would do that? No. So the commentator goes, he's psyching himself up. Congratulations, commentator. For the first time, you added to the experience and you added something to the depth instead of taking away. Good job. God, that hurt to say. Oh, and then Odam takes the blood off his head and wipes it on his chest. Dude, no wonder the crowd loves this guy. The guy's nuts. I love this guy. Listen to that kind of yelling that's going on because he's climbing the ladder. They really want him to win. Mission accomplished. They really want him to win. They're willing him up the ladder. Bryce Cannon, I love this storytelling. So Bryce Cannon, who's shown us that he physically can't get up from the damage he's taken, gets Matt Odam's attention and then goes, fuck you, to make it so Matt doesn't want to win the match, but hates him so much that he'll stop trying to win in order to hurt him. Great bit of storytelling. And again, he's Lex Luthor. I have to be crafty. I have to be smart. Right? I will do anything it takes. I will sacrifice my own body to win. Fuck you. Let's see if Matt takes the bait. And let's see if he gives us that moment of moral ambiguity. I hope he goes through that process of like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I hope we have that moment. Let's see.
Bryce let him know he's number one. Oh, back in the leg that he worked on earlier.
Then Bryce smacks him in the leg. Odam didn't give this that moment of he got to me and that's why I'm not climbing the ladder anymore. A missed opportunity by Matt.
Bryce good to him. He should have just grabbed the belt. He was right
Bryce
there.
Struggling. I like it.
Oh, another shot.
Okay hit. We're going to our greatest hits. It's kind of like when I saw Don Ho the first time, whose big song was Tiny Bubbles. And I'll be damned if he didn't sing it 3 times during his set. which made sense. So we're bringing back the greatest hits. Cannon sucks. But I think they really missed a moment of Matt being able to go, it's Bryce Cannon going, fuck you. I think Matt at that point should have got on top of him and started beating him instead of Bryce Cannon being forced to fight back. Because I like the story of, I'm too broken at this moment to stop you, so I'm doing anything I can to get you to stop ascending the ladder. I think they should have played with that game a little more.
Another shot. Headbutt.
Oh, the headbutt looked great. Where has that been? Some of these shitty punches I had to watch. Dumped him up and over. Referee, quit touching the fucking ladder. He'll fucking kill you. Whoa, is Matt gonna do some kind of slingshotty thing from the apron? That's a big guy to fucking use the ropes for some high flying shit. I'm interested.
Go for the spear.
Slingshot spear look great. And now Matt Odom's firing up. And this is a part of the match where most amateurs would go dead because they're like, oh, we have a big spot we both lay out. But Matt realizes this is his moment. We're going into the third act of the match. We're going towards the finish. This is where we want to see energy from Matt. So he's firing himself up. He's already established that he's a nut job by wiping his own blood on himself. Now he's showing like, I'm going to fight through all this pain. Bryce Cannon, look at his body language. Dead to the world from taking that huge move. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's go to the finish. Go, Matt, go. He looks... Scoop him up. What's your finish? Yells to the crowd. They yell back. Great moment.
For the Coastal Empire Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, package pile driver. I've never seen that. Picks him up in the package pile driver, then twists it into a throw. It looks good. I was wondering when the exotic youth were going to come in. This seems like an appropriate time because Bryce Cannon should be dead. And so now they're coming to the ring and they're hitting the ring. What are they going to do? Exciting. The crowd is frantic. You hear them like, look out, look out. Dude, that's what you want. Heat. Heat. Love it. He ducks the double clothesline. I love that Matt is going to take care of the threat himself and not get help. Talk about Superman, dude. I love it. That didn't look as good as it could, but the spot is so cool. I'll allow it. The crowd's into it. So he's wiped out the threat. Here was the last trump card. See what that fucking dickhead did. He ruined that word for all of us. Fuck him. He played his last ace. Here come my friends to help me. And then in one fell swoop, Matt has wiped them out. Bryce didn't get any time to relax and recover. And Matt is firmly in control. Surely he's going to win now. Goes outside of the ring. Why? Try to win.
I should know. Put myself through the field. They're not a good thing.
Looking for shit. Oh, this always looks like amateur hour. So he's getting some kind of prop to use to culminate this match, and he's physically having to look for it. Folks, plant your own shit and make sure you know where it is. This kind of stuff where you're looking for something at the point at which you need it, it's one of those things that takes us out of the moment. You've done this great job of inflating this bubble of believability. And something like this pops that bubble, and you're going to take us out of the match. Have your shit. Know your marks. Know your spots. People thought I was a psychopath because whenever I had something that I had to do, like when I was going to use the blood capsules at Pro South, I checked that pocket God knows how many times, and I practiced taking them out. And should I have my pocket zipped up? No. And then I realized, no, they're going to just sit there nicely in the bottom of my pocket so I could have it open. People are like, why are you fucking with that stuff so much? Just because when the time comes, I have a second to get those blood capsules in my mouth without the crowd noticing, and I have to be able to access it, right? This is the penultimate point of the match, right before the finish, and he's literally looking for something. And it makes it look like amateur hour. And then it takes us out of the moment because then we wonder like, oh, they've just rigged some things set up. If he had gotten it quickly, whipped that apron back, pulled it out right away, showed it to the crowd, then they would be like, yeah, great moment. Yeah. Does Triple H have to look for his fucking sledgehammer? No. He just found it. And then he would take it out and the crowd would go like, oh shit. Come on. He's looking. Oh, and then Matt's having to banter with the crowd. Oh, don't worry, I saw it. And he's walking to the other side of the ring. Dude, you're both bleeding to death. You're fighting for the death. And now he's bantering, going, and he has a smile on his face. Don't worry, I saw it. Bubble popped. Fuck, guys. Even if he had urgency of going, where is it? Where is it? That would be much more believable and much more engaging with the emotion that they're setting than, oh, don't worry, guys, I found it. Take all the tension out of it. And this better be worth it. Now I've had to wait for what you're pulling out. It better be something fucking great. Table after table. I'll allow it. It's hard to find those pressed wood tables now. That's why they're using plastic. It's really hard to find. Or maybe those are doors, which is kind of the deathmatch way to go nowadays. No, I think those are plastic tables, right? Pro tip. You can still get a hold of those pressed wood tables, but they don't have them in office supply in places like Lowe's anymore. But if you know far enough in advance you want them, you can have the warehouse send those pressed wood tables that wrestling is famous for to a location and pick them up. And they're about the same cost as the plastic tables. Steve, that was incredibly practical. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, you're welcome, dickhead. Join my Patreon. Shut up, commentators. Oh, God. Fucking terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Just shut up. Let the moment speak. Shitty boot. Come on, Matt. Slamming his head in. So now he's beating up the rest of the exotic youth again, keeping them down. He's put a table in each corner or a door in each corner. They are doors. Okay, good. Plastic tables would be no fun to go through. Through the door. Come on. You got a door in each corner and the crowd's chanting through the door, through the door. Win.
This could be bad. This could be bad.
Crowd's chanting spear. They want him to spear Bryce Cannon through the table. But Matt is having to buy time. What is this? What's going on?
Odam's wasting too much time. Odam's wasting too much time.
I've seen a lot of ref bumps. But for Bryce Cannon to pull the referee in the way so the referee gets tackled through the door is a spot I've never seen before. Referee, for any of the bad stuff I said about you because you fucked with the ladders, I apologize. Because that was a hell of a spot. Let's look at it again. Oh my God, that looked fucking great. The referee appearing to check on Bryce Cannon, but obviously so Bryce Cannon can communicate with him, okay, it's coming. Well done, great spot. Who thought of this shit? It's great. Let's see the referee die again. That's amazing. That should be a fucking meme, is this referee getting murdered. It should be a gif of this referee getting speared through this table again and again. What a great fucking spot. Maybe my favorite spot I've seen from any independent wrestling this year.
Odam's wasting too much time. He go,
Now, commentators, what you're saying is appropriate. Now imagine if this was the first time that you reacted like this to a spot instead of the 5th time. Less. That way, when you really give it up, oh my God, you've already done it 4 other times. If you had saved it for this fucking spot, imagine how magnificent that would be. Jim Ross became Jim Ross because he said, stop the damn match once. And it became one of the most famous calls in wrestling history. But he saved it for the biggest bump of all, right? Stop the damn match, right? He didn't yell it 5 different times in the match. Less is more.
the ref
The crowd chants, "Holy shit, I'm thinking it." Fucking awesome.
Through the door, the squeakers of Bryce Cannon pulling the ref for Odam's spear. The ref could be done for the night.
So, okay, from a fan's perspective, now you're looking at the ring. They broke one door with the referee. What is left to use? What is going to be the last major spot? We still have one unbroken door. I heard recently somebody say, I would love to see a match where for once they didn't break all the stuff that they brought into the ring. One, you're an idiot. Why would you want to see something not be utilized? And two, you have to use that last door. And it has to be the culminating spot in the match. Chekhov's gun. I've talked about this before. It's a theatrical principle that says if you pull a pistol out on a stage, you better fire the fucking thing in the course of that play, or else there's no point of bringing the gun on the stage. You have to make the audience feel paid off. You have to set up expectations and deliver on them. And that unbroken door is it's a sword of Damocles in the corner of like, fuck, we want to see it drop. Even if it means Bryce Cannon wins, we want to see it pay off. We want to see something happen with that door. I'm wondering how they're going to handle this ref being laid out. The broken piece of the door spot is great. I love that Matt Odam might be the smartest babyface in history, where he's like, anytime any of the other exotic youth begin to stir, he's going to fuck them up. He's like, these dickheads are not costing me this match. And I love that. And does this mean that we're going to get to see that package throw on poor fucking Zach Mosley? I hope so. Fuck Zach Mosley. And I say that with love. Everyone knows I like Zach Mosley, but there is no way he should be with Candy. She is way too hot for him. I think we can all agree on that. But we couldn't get him up. Good improvisation. He couldn't pick him up for his big throw. So instead of just trying it again, he just hooks. You know what? They just want to see him hit the broken door. Fuck it. I'll just give him the next big quick move, fix it, and move on. Great job. Matt Odam, you should be wrestling in a lot of other places as well. You are good at this shit. Crowd chants, this is awesome. I hate that chant, but I'm inclined to agree. There's that kid again who cheers for Bryce Cannon. Screw that little kid. We don't care what he says. Throws Bryce out. Shut up, commentators.
Grab that gold and make yourself the first ever heavyweight champion. Climb that ladder, Odam. Climb the ladder.
He's climbing the ladder. Bryce Cannon's outside of the ring.
He's close. He's right there. His face is touching it. He got his hands on it. Is he unhooking it? Is he unhooking it?
Great storytelling here. So Matt is just about to touch the belt. You see Bryce Cannon get up. What are you thinking is going to happen? Okay, Bryce is going to get in there and stop him. Instead, Bryce passes out and slumps down. So then the crowd gets really excited because they're like, he's going to win. I'm sure he's not. His exotic youth buddies get up just in time. The one who didn't get hit a second time gets up and pushes the ladder over. And that ladder is fucked up. Look, it's all twisted up. Now they've got problems, and that's interesting. Okay, great spot. Wheelbarrow. DDTs him on one end, and then Zach Mosley guts him up and gets him through that last door. Now we understand, now that the last thing has been broken, that last door just ended Matt Odam. Now we get it, and we understand that.
Suplex through the table. This match should be over. The match should be over.
Oh, the match should be over because he actually unhooked the belt. And it fell to the ground, but there was no referee to see that Matt actually won the match. Now the ref bump makes sense. I like that storytelling. I've never seen this before. So they're having to go up to the ladder to put the belt back on the hook. So then Bryce can. I love it. I love it. I've never. Oh my God, I love it. I thought I'm the only person who ever came up with a clever thing for a finish of a ladder match before, but this is just as clever, if not more so. Crowd's chanting bullshit because they see the finish happening. He puts the title up there and rehooks it so Bryce can win it in front of the referee.
It's smart strategy. That is smart. The ref is taken out. You take your chance, hang the belt, and make your boy win. And now Bryce Cannon has the opportunity to become the first ever heavyweight champion while they're beating down.
Good stomps.
Oh man, this is not good for Odam. Getting the beat down as Bryce slowly climbs. The ref is still out. Odam is still down and is slowly going to the top. Pepperbottom now waking up.
Crowd's chanting for Odam, hoping by some miracle they can bring him back to life.
Like this. Don't tell me he's gonna win it like this.
Pepperbottom wakes up the referee so he can see Bryce take the belt down. Oh my God. And now Zach Mosley beats down the fallen hero. What a dick. Wow. So that was a lot. A lot of teachable moments there, and a lot of me cussing, and a lot of me saying things that I probably shouldn't. But it's no less than what you have come to expect. This has been Stephen Platinum. Kudos to Bryce Cannon, Matt Odam, the referee, and the rest of the Exotic Youth. Folks, are we going to keep pretending that the Exotic Youth aren't great? I think that's silly. Obviously, that was really great. There's things to work on and little things to improve, but whew, super high quality. And commentators, fix your shit.